See this? That's a sure sign of a leaky portal box. When we come back, Dale and I are going to tear it apart and show you how it works. Before we go to SEMA, we've got to rebuild 4 portal boxes.
And we want to be able to show off our new cover plate that we've designed for that.
So we thought we'd do it in a how-to show.
Can't be that hard. I'm Dale.
And I'm Bob.
And we're here to rebuild a portal box on a Humvee.
With the Dale and Bob how-to show. So how do you think we're doing?
I think we're doing good enough. If you take a look here, you'll see the oil leaking down the side of the tire on this Humvee. And you can see where it's been leaking here. And if you see that on your Humvee, you've got a problem. So here we go. Okay, here we have a portal box that's on every Humvee or Hummer. And it is a gear reduction system. It is a high clearance gizmo. And it's really heavy. Because I had one fall between my toes and I thought I was going to lose my toes.
I got to put these on because I have to see patients at 1 o'clock. They don't appreciate grease in their mouth.
This is the
drive shaft. CV shaft.
There you go, half shaft, whatever you want to call it.
This is a half CV drive shaft, folks.
Exactly.
I think I just invented a new part. On a normal 4-wheel drive or any unit, whichever wheel drives the car, this axle lines up directly with this bottom hub, which is where the tire mounts. So in a normal application, if the driveline from the car is up here, or the universal joint would be pointed up like that. But in a portal box, it does 2 things. One thing that it does is it moves this bottom mounting point up. And by doing that, it straightens out these CV shafts. So it allows the vehicle to, in essence, have 4 to 5 inches of lift without changing the angles of any of the drive shafts or CV shafts. Did you see what I just did? I just dropped all kinds of information.
And you did a good job.
Yes, I rocked it. The second thing it does
gives you a gear reduction. If you look on the inside, you will see that there's 2 gears. There's a small gear drive gear here and a driven gear, which is a large gear, which goes to your wheel hub that drives the tire. So therefore you get a, what is it, a 1.9?
1.9 something to 1.
So
almost 2 to 1.
You get a gear reduction through that, so now you'd have less stress on your axle shafts, your drive shaft, your transmission, your engine, although it does reduce your top speed. So that's the one drawback to the gear reduction, but if you're into 4-wheel drive applications, high speed is typically not your concern.
We kind of started out weak, but I think we're starting to get the hang of this.
Well, I'm doing great. First of all, we're going to start taking some components off.
It's the same portal box on all 4 corners of a Humvee. So this little part is what steers it, and on the rear, it's just locked out solid. Go ahead, Dale.
Now we take off the cover, we bend the tab off the star washer, and we remove the nut with the special tool that we've made. We're just going to spin this little thing off the easy way. This is backing the nut off.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yep, that's a little trick, isn't it?
It's a good thing we left that ugly ball joint on there.
Yeah, it sure helps.
I always just turn it by hand and it's like, takes forever. I'm learning stuff on my own how-to show.
The taper on the nut needs to go down so it matches the star washer. So then you pull off the second washer, which is key to go in a certain direction. And then you pull out the seal.
Is that a technical way to take that off?
It's a really good way to take it off.
I'm pretty sure that there's a special tool to remove that seal, and it probably costs hundreds of dollars.
Yes, but that way works too.
It works, but if we're doing a how-to show, maybe next time we should get the tool. Not the way I take it.
All the bolts are still in it.
Ah, the
So
bolts are still in it.
This is probably our last show.
Yeah, this is our first and last how-to show. The important thing to remember when you're taking off, this is the upper or the axle input side. The important thing to remember about that is that the little shims have to stay put. So we have a bunch of these plastic shims, and that's the way that they come.
Safety man's here.
Oh man, I keep getting in trouble for that. I do know the rules. Okay, now I can't see a thing. What could I possibly get in my eyes? We're doing a how-to show, and this is all fake.
So if you can get the bearing out, great. If you can't, go ahead and just lift this up and it'll help. Just go ahead and lift up a little bit and I'll see if I can grab that bearing. Okay, so here we got the bearing out. This is a tapered bearing. This is considered a low-speed bearing, but it's high side load. It's a rebuildable as far as cleaning it to make sure sand, rust, dirt, water, get all the contaminations out of it before you put it back in. So it's a great bearing.
Okay, the best way to take it apart from here is actually just to lift up the whole housing. If you try to tip it on its side, then parts go everywhere and it's just a mess. So there is a shim in here, but it doesn't come out until we get it off. So you just grab the whole housing, lift it straight up, and that's gonna give you that.
There's the other half of the tapered bearing. You have to have opposing tapered bearings when you have tapered.
And then we can start pulling things out. This is the drive gear, the driven gear of the portal box. If you'll notice, this thing is huge. Most gears in a transmission are very narrow, but this thing is just monstrous. And this is what makes the Humvee just such a crazy, ridiculous, strong vehicle. And so we can set that aside. We're gonna wanna clean
Another thing that I like to do when I'm pulling something like that apart, making sure I put it back together the same way, is I'll mark my parts. So let's go ahead and mark this gear showing that which is the top. I'm just gonna put a little mark in it. That tells us what the top is so that we don't put it in backwards.
Great idea, Dale. Just a little bit more and we'll have it completely taken apart. I can't see because I've got, good catch, Dale.
Here we go, pair of tapered bearings. Now the outer race is still inside the housing on one end, and then the other race comes out the top this way. But as you can see, there's two tapered bearings, and then here we got your spur gear. It's a straight cut gear. They say they're a little bit noisier. I've heard that they're actually a little bit stronger, but you'll see that there's some damage to them where they've been rubbing and maybe galling a little bit inside. Could have been run low on oil. It could have had some contamination inside. It's hard to say at this point. Anyway, so this is what we have, that secondary gear, the drive gear.
All right, so now we have our portal box taken apart. The most common seal that leaks is the one that rides against this, and that's why we get oil coming down on the side of most of the tires. It's on this side of the box.
He has it positioned in the way it would be on the vehicle, okay? So the smaller gear is up on the top, the drive gear. This is the driven on the bottom, and here's where this puppy here slides inside into that, and there's a surface right here that the seal rides on. And if that seal gets damaged, then obviously it's submerged in oil, so that oil is allowed to drip down the side of the portal box, draining the portal box, and then contaminating your tires. You can see in this tire on the back of this.
Yep. And if you watch a lot of YouTube videos on how to, like the rest of America and me, then there's a ton of guys that go online and they're like, today we're gonna change the oil in our portal box. And they pull the cover off and there isn't any oil in the portal box. It's because they say if your portal box is not leaking down the side of your tire, it's out of oil.
Probably empty.
That's how you know.
These portal boxes are 30 and 35 years old, so they're more than likely they're ready to leak.
So here's where the main seal is that leaks. You can go from the backside with a screwdriver, push that out, or push the new seal right in right there, and then it's just time to reassemble this portal box. Putting it back together is just like taking it apart, but in reverse. Ta-da! Check the internet to find out all the torque specs on the bolts that you need to put back in. And that wraps up the Dale and Bob's how-to show. These clean hands are gonna go fix some teeth.
All right, have a good day.
Whoa, give me that thing.
Woo! That was fun.
What are you doing?
I'm having a little fun in the shop. I'm doing some product testing, Bob.
I know, but I'm in charge of product testing around here.
Welcome to American Metal. I'm Beth, and I'm here with Bob.
This is my beautiful wife, Beth, and today we were supposed to be doing some product testing. Apparently she got a head start.
Yeah, well, let's go see what I was shooting. I'll show you. So this is polycarbonate. Tell everybody what polycarbonate is.
Polycarbonate is one of the forms of bullet-resistant glass. No glass is truly bulletproof, and so we just call it bullet-resistant. And there's three main forms, but this form, this polycarbonate, is very unique. The cool feature about this is that when we put it in a lot of the machinery, it acts just like steel. We can mill it in the mill, we can bend it in the press brake, and it'll actually bend like a piece of metal and retain the shape that we bend it to. We can also drill it, tap it, we can do all kinds of fun stuff. And because of that, we can build a lot of cool products.
And you've actually used this on your Hero Humvee, this polycarbonate.
Yeah, this polycarbonate has been used in several places on the Hero Humvee to try to solve some common problems that Humvees have. Come on over, I'll show you. The first thing we built was a portal box cover. Okay, the first thing that we built out of polycarbonate for the Humvee was this portal box cover. Now, this unit right here is called a portal box. This is a unique piece to the Humvee that I don't know of another vehicle built and sold in the United States that has one of these portal boxes. The cool thing about it is that this drive shaft right here that comes in on the top is typically where the wheel mounts. In other words, this hub would be mounted clear up here. But on a portal box, it's mounted down low. That gives each and every wheel like a 4 or 5 inch lift direct from the factory. By doing that, the Humvee has tons of ground clearance. It can drive over really huge logs and rocks, and it makes it an excellent off-road vehicle. But the most important part of a portal box is what's right inside here, and you can see those big, huge gears inside. Those big gears are like 4 or 5 times bigger than the typical gear inside of a transmission that would move the whole truck. And this gear only moves one tire. And so what the portal box does, that top gear is about half as big as the bottom gear. So every time the drive shaft that comes into the portal box turns over 1.9 times, so almost 2 times, the wheel only turns over once. By doing that, every piece of metal and drive shaft and component that's on this side of the portal box is 1.9 times as strong. The unique thing about this portal box cover is that if you can see this line right here, that's the oil that's inside the portal box. Normally, a portal box cover is solid steel and you can't see that oil. The problem is that a lot of portal boxes leak. So when they run out of oil, you have no way of knowing unless you take that out and reach inside or take the cover off and see if any oil comes out. So by having a polycarbonate cover, our customers can look at their portal boxes, they can tell if it's full of oil or do they need to add some, and they can inspect their portal box just by walking around. That makes this unique product a distinct advantage to the Humvee. This is what the portal box cover looks like before we install it. The unique things about this polycarbonate is you can see that we've put it in the mill and we've actually milled it out just like we would mill out a piece of steel. This little O-ring has a groove that it fits in to make sure that the fill hole never leaks. And if we look inside here, you can see that it's been tapped just like we would tap a piece of steel to accept a bolt. It's threaded on the inside. And so these portal box covers are a distinct advantage to the Humvee. We just had to make sure that they're not going to break when a rock flies up and hits this portal box cover coming from the front tire. And that's why we decided to shoot at it.
Hi, this is Dale. If you like this video, maybe you could like and subscribe, and even leave a comment if you'd like. Hey, thanks. Have a great day.